Let's have some fun with this. I got my fellows here with me. This is a Will and Friends podcast. Today's podcast, 523. Championships matter. Individual awards don't. That simple. Will and Friends podcast here on Facebook, Twitter, and also today, for the first time ever with StreamYard, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to do YouTube, trying to build my YouTube channel. So please.
Whoa.
I know, right? If you're watching me via YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you'll get those videos that I'm going to drop. As this year is going on, I'm going to start doing more things on the YouTube side of things. I see everybody else doing it, so why not follow suit? I thought I'd try it anyway. But it's easier now that I understand what you got to do on YouTube. At first, I didn't understand it quite as much, and then plus I didn't want the headache, but now I get it. I am joined by Mr. Walter Strong and Mr. Lewis Sonora. Guys, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Doing great.
Does that have anything to do with the current score of the Lakers and the Suns?
That and the New York Knicks are back in the playoffs.
You know it.
Sorry.
If you know me, like these gentlemen know me, you know I absolutely hate the Knicks. So him just being so excited because the Knicks are in the playoffs. It's the first time since 2013, and they got an easy first round opponent in the Atlanta Hawks. You couldn't get no easier than that. Disagree or agree?
I'm not gonna say I agree or disagree. I'm going to say it's going to be a tough road ahead. So you need to kind of get your leg. You got to stretch before you get into some serious workout. So this is a stretching series. Got to stretch those muscles. Philly and the Nets are not going to be easy.
You say it's a stretching series, huh?
That's right.
What do you think, Lou? You said something pre-show, 5 games. What is wrong with you? Get off of that. Get off of that. Not 5 games, bro. They're not beating them in 5 games. Get off of that.
Is that right? You think Atlanta's will beat them?
I give them. I say it's going all 7.
All 7.
All 7 games. All 7. Yes, I said it.
And you think Atlanta's going to take it?
No, I want Atlanta to take it, but I think the Knicks are the better team, and plus they got home court. So I think New York will win Game 7 in New York. So.
Ooh, Lord, man.
But I do want Nate McMillan to win because, he got a bum job up there in Indiana the last couple of years. He shouldn't have been fired because the team lost in the first round all those years. That wasn't on him. His team wasn't healthy last year. They didn't have Sabonis last year when the Heat swept them. And then the year before, I think Oladipo or somebody was hurt.
I was not pleased with McMillan's comments, though.
Whose comments?
McMillan.
What did he say? I heard something. He said something.
Yeah, well, he was fined $25,000 for shooting of his big mouth. Saying, that the Knicks, the NBA wanted the Knicks in the playoffs, the league wanted them in the playoffs, and there's going to be a lot of calls that are not going to go our way. It's going to go against the Knicks, and he was so ticked off about it. I'm like, I find it insulting. The series hasn't even started yet, and you're already projecting the outcome. Like, it's
called
not
planting the seed, baby. It's called planting the seed.
Planting the seed.
Yes, Phil Jackson.
A la Phil Jackson.
Yes. Phil Jackson used to do it all the time.
I saw that series. Yuck.
And Pat Riley used to do it all the time too.
Sure did. Phil and Pat.
And Pop did it too when he was with the Spurs. So that's just good coaching. Hey, what's $25,000 to him?
That's true. Especially when you get that extension, this be the head coach.
Oh, he should be the head coach. No matter what happens in this series, he should be the head coach of the Atlanta Hawks. But then we talking about the Atlanta Hawks. They got a dumb organization, so we don't know what's going to happen in regards to them.
So
I don't know. All right. So the game 1 winners so far, Bucks, Mavs, Nets, Blazers, and Sixers earlier today. And now we can add the Phoenix Suns in there. Yep. They are the winner of game 1 of that best of 7 series between the number 2 seed Suns and the number 7 seed Lakers. Lou, so far, what has been, I guess, a surprising outcome to you in game 1 of these playoffs? That's been played so far.
Well, I wouldn't say much of a surprise. I think the Nets were gonna, have an easy time with this series. So I'm not really too surprised. Sixers, Washington, they can give it a good fight, but in the end, you got Embiid, and the Sixers really have been the dominant in the East all year, and I really don't see Washington having much. I don't think Westbrook and Beal can do it by themselves to carry Washington for an upset. I really don't see it. You can say all you want, but I don't know. The Blazers series, that one I think can go either way. I don't think I have a clear winner on this one. Pretty much.
I think that's a consensus around people that are making predictions. They're not sure about that series.
The one surprise I think is the Bucks Miami series. I mean, okay, the Greek Freak isn't what it used to be, but I thought maybe they would still have a chance to beat the Heat in this series. But
they won yesterday, so I don't get it. I'm lost.
Well, I mean, it's going to be an interesting series, though. I mean, that's going to go 7 games right there.
Right.
Yeah.
But
so
they beat the Heat yesterday.
The Heat. The Heat. I'm not convinced yet because the Heat are going to come running back in that series anyway. I don't see this will be an easy series. This will be what's called a dogfight.
All right, Walter. What has surprised you the game 1 matchups so far?
I would have to say the Bucks and the Heat game 1 surprised me in terms of who won the game. Not so much in terms of the Bucks, but it's who won the game and
the player. You're talking about the guy, the player, not the team. The player. Okay,
right. Chris Middleton.
And
I think that has been a consensus of will this guy come to the party and establish himself in the playoffs, especially when you got that nice little contract. and right, and because we all agree, you build a nice little wall against Giannis, and then you're searching for someone else, and then the addition of Drew Holiday, I think that was a big trade that is paying dividends in just this first game. Yes, first game, but if we can see that, and the Bucks end up taking care of business in 6 games. I'm a believer. You have to be able to be a championship team. You got to be able to put your opponent down on the road so that when you get into these next 2 rounds, and if you are fortunate to get into the championship round, you have the ability to say, we knocked out the opponent. We took the opponent down on the road.
Yes.
Okay. Nothing surprising about none of those game 1s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the Bucks would beat the Heat the first game. I actually thought they'd blow the Heat out late, but they didn't. It was nip and tuck, and the Heat actually just stunk up the joint. Bam, Jimmy, Tyler, their top 3 scorers just had horrible games yesterday. They only made 10 buckets, missed out of 47 shots. That's not very good for the Heat, but they only lost by 2. They got a great game from Goran Dragic. They got a great game. They got a great game from Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
But I wish the Heat would stop switching so easily in that pick and roll setting. Make the picker hold that pick a little longer or try to fight through, because that's how Chris Middleton got that shot. They got the matchup on the defensive player they wanted, and that was on Duncan Robinson. And Chris Middleton is supposed to make that shot. He's a professional, and that's his shot. He's a mid-range shooter. So the Clippers, no, not surprised, because I didn't think the Clippers would do anything anyway this year. No. And I wouldn't be shocked if they lose this first round series. They've been overrated. They've been overrated since they lost last year in the playoffs to Denver. They lost that 3-1 lead and they collapsed. They haven't been the same. I don't care they got Rondo. They just now this outcome right here, I didn't give the Suns a peep of a chance. And they got 1 game so far. And it looks like it's going to be a lot tougher on LA than I thought, and a lot of other people thought, because we just thought that LeBron and AD would be able to just run through this team, but they don't look healthy.
No, they're not.
No,
they're not.
Gotta be healthy if you want to survive in the playoffs, or else it's going to be goodbye.
Or close to 100%. You got to totally be 100%, but you got to be close to it. But anyway, Phoenix is hungry.
95.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely. They're a hungry young bunch. Now, Chris Paul got he had a shoulder contusion injury today, and he doesn't look. Yeah, he wasn't able to hang on to the basketball, so that may hurt them going forward. So we'll see what game 2 is. It's funny that since this compact season, and then last year in the bubble playoffs, first rounds used to take 2 weeks. I don't know if you guys remember when they went to this format, the 7 games. It took 2 weeks to do the first round.
Yes,
they're gonna do these first round matchups this week, this year, just like they did last year, in almost 7 days.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
That's a lot of basketball on the body. Yeah.
Right.
That includes travel now. This ain't the bubble where everybody's staying in the same hotel. This is LA going to Phoenix, although that's close. That's Boston going to Atlanta. It's a 2-hour flight. That's Miami going to Milwaukee. And Milwaukee going to Miami. So the travel is going to factor a lot in this year playoffs. So right now the Knicks and the Hawks are going to start at 6:30. So game one, Lou.
7.
Give me the score of the Hawks and the Knicks.
I'll say Knicks over the Hawks 99-94. I'm looking at defense. I'm looking at the defensive game here.
That would be defensive in today's NBA. Walter, score Hawks and Knicks first game.
102-97.
Ooh, both got 5-point games. Both relatively low scoring.
Yeah. 102-97.
I think the Hawks take game. I think the Hawks take game one. I think the Hawks take game one. I'm going to say 91-89. I think they get lucky at the end.
Oh, so you think this is the 1988-89-90 series, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah.
You're trying to go back to Piston days. I got you.
This is gonna be a physical game, guys. I think it's gonna be physical. But like I said, I don't want the Knicks to win, but I just think the Knicks are the better team, and I think they will. It's just like bitter lemons coming out of my mouth. I think they will win this series, but
I'll send you some ibuprofen. I'll send you some ibuprofen.
That's
and Lou will send you some Pepto-Bismol.
Yes.
And who's closing out? The Jazz and who's closing out? The Jazz and the Grizzlies the Jazz and the Grizzlies are closing it out for all the game ones over the weekend. So that should be a blowout. That shouldn't even be close. I don't care if Donovan Mitchell plays or not.
Jazz is going to sweep that.
They should.
They should, but I don't think they will.
Should.
I don't think they will.
But I don't know, man. Ja Morant may sneak a game or two. If he plays like he did the other night against the Warriors, he may get a game.
Yeah, he's definitely due one. That guy's he's due one.
Yep. So, all right. Something else I want to get you guys' thoughts on is the MVP awards and the Sixth Man of the Year and all of that other stuff. But anyway, for me, championships matter. Individual awards don't mean anything to me. I've seen guys. Well, let me just go to the last 3 seasons. Giannis has been the MVP 2 years in a row, and then this year more than likely Jokic is going to win it. That's the more than likely thing.
Joker.
But do we seriously think that Giannis was the best player in the league, or do we think that Jokic is the best player in the league now because he's going to win it? Jokic is the best player in the league.
I think so. Greek Freak, I think, has lost a little bit. Jokic has really shown some. He's shown some pretty good moves this season. I like the style playing. I think Jokic is the best player right now.
Jokic is the best player in the league?
I think so.
Wow.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's why I'm keep asking. Seriously?
I'm looking at the comments from Facebook or YouTube to see what they got to say about that one. No, I'm not. I'm not even messing with that.
No, I'm not. Lou, I'm going to ask one more time just to make sure I got this correct.
I'm not changing my answer.
Okay. Now.
Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA over Steph Curry, over Kevin Durant, over LeBron James, over Anthony Davis, over James Harden.
All right. I'll go with Curry. He did win the scoring title after all. Yeah. But Jokic is a dangerous player. He is showing some.
I'm not saying he's not dangerous, but he's not. Well, okay. Walter, Jokic will be the MVP. He will be just like Giannis. But like I thought about Giannis the 2 years he won, I didn't think he was the best player in the league when he won. I thought he had the best statistical years. And he had a lot of impact on a team that if you take him off of that, of course, they don't win like they did. And with Jokic, it's the same thing. But I don't think neither one of those dudes are in the top 5 of the best players in the NBA. So what is your thoughts about Jokic? Is he the best player in the league in your opinion? He
is the MVP of this season. But however, the question is he the best player in the NBA?
Right.
That's our question. Is he the best? And that honor goes to one Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry. He hands down, he is the best.
Without a doubt, he's the best.
He is the best right now on the league. He's the man right now. Yeah.
Although he couldn't will his team to. That's two tough losses. LeBron makes a lucky shot, and then Ja Morant just discovered that he can shoot 3-pointers when he's wide open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we just saw it tonight, even with LeBron. He was trying to will his team to come back. That's what makes the Stephen Currys. That's what makes the LeBron James. That's what makes some of the best players that we've seen in the past. Akeem Olajuwon. I still remember when David Robinson lifted up that MVP trophy.
Oh yeah,
and Akeem Olajuwon said, "Okay, Steve Nash wins the MVP, 2 years in a row, and Shaquille O'Neal does, and Shaq just says, "Oh, really? You're gonna give it to? Okay, let me explain to you systematically why I am the best big man and player in the league." So, hands down, it's Stephen Curry.
Easily. Is that a gun, Lou?
A what?
Is that a gun?
A gun.
On your over your shoulder.
Oh, over your shoulder. Yeah, I see that. It's like a
No.
Oh, I thought that was a gun. It's like weird.
No, it's a t-shirt.
The thing over your shoulder.
It's over your shoulder. See,
it would be over your shoulder. The other way. The other way. Look over your shoulder.
Look over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And it.
Oh my geez! Don't worry about it.
Oh boy.
Don't worry.
I swear though, it's non-gun. I swear.
Oh, okay. I was just asking a question. Don't worry. It's just I looked and I saw it in the back. I was like, is that a gun?
Yeah, just kind of how it's designed. Like, yeah.
Right.
I want that for you. I've never carried a gun.
You've never carried a gun?
Never.
Oh, so you've never been hunting?
No? I've never carried a weapon. Never.
Oh, I'll tell you who should carry a weapon: the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm gonna get your opinion real quick. The Florida Panthers are getting just beat up they're getting outplayed by Tampa, and they're getting mad about it. So they decided to take sticks and whack all the Tampa players that they could and just get all the penalties that they can.
Right?
Why is that allowed in hockey? Why didn't Tampa just start dashing? And I'm a Florida Panthers fan. Why didn't Tampa just start dashing Florida Panthers players across the ice? Because they intentionally hurt their best player last night.
Not a smart move at all. I mean, when Florida isn't even being really competitive this year. Tampa is just blowing them out left and right.
No, they won one game. They won one game in overtime. They won an overtime thriller. But I'm saying last night, it was not even close. Tampa showed their championship medal, and Florida just lost their mind. The Panthers players lost their mind. They just was whacking players with sticks. Well, I know you probably didn't see this, but let's relate this to the NBA. Let's just say the 76ers are just blowing the Wizards out. And the Wizards decide they're just going to flagrant foul Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid all night because they're just upset because they can't beat this team because they're better than them. Shouldn't the Sixers be able to get some type of redemption in the middle of that game? Like start matching flagrant foul for flagrant foul?
Hockey is a very interesting, barbaric sport.
True.
Very barbaric and interesting. We see what some of the things that you're talking about, if that transpired in the NBA, a la Montrezl Harris runs all the way from New York to Los Angeles and pushes the guy, and he doesn't get thrown out the game, but the guy who throws the bat. So, but then you see, I saw a highlight a couple of days ago where this hockey player got hit real bad. And people were taking knees. I don't know if we're talking about the same game.
You might be talking about the same game because
no. They were the original. I think they were the original. Lou, you would know. I think they were the original 6 or something.
Oh,
the original Montreal versus
Toronto.
Whoever, they were both original 16.
Mm-hmm.
And my point is, this guy got hurt real bad, and when you see players start to take a knee, that's where you're like, okay, this is life and death situation. Right. And it took them a while for them to really get him off the ice, put him on the stretcher. Their way of now playing the game moving forward is now we both have to get into a fist fight and we need to just go straight goon squad. And I'm going, but you can't do that in the NBA and you can't do that in the NFL. No, you can, but the ramifications of what will happen to you from a fine and just through the media will destroy your brand. But yet hockey continues to build a brand through barbaric practices. You know, you didn't see that with the Mets game when Kevin, was it Pillar? Well, he got hit in that face, and they had an understanding. Hey, look, this is a unique situation. Don't go throwing pitches at another player where you're going to start a brawl. There was an understanding that was a unique situation. So I don't understand why hockey didn't take that moment to understand the guy got hurt, but you don't turn around and turn this into a 15-round fighter between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. I just don't know. You're building a brand on barbaric. You know, what was it, Will? What was it, Will, in Undisputed with Wesley Snipes and Vin Raines, and my man was talking about taking the gloves off and he was talking about going back London boxing style.
Right.
How do you build a brand on it?
You can't. I think it's Undisputed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was
that's my point. Hockey is
yeah.
definitely something that definitely needs to come to the times. They need to come to the times that we're in. And
yeah, that was despicable. Yeah, and like I said, I'm a Florida Panthers fan. And then I know I just looked at that situation between Montreal and Toronto.
If you want a real dirty player, I mean, Tom Willis of the Capitals. I mean, that guy fights, and he fights dirty.
Yeah, but I don't know all the individual players. I get what you're saying. I don't know all the individual players, but I'm talking about that particular instance where Florida was just getting shredded, and then they just decided to lose their mind and not play with dignity and class, and they decided to whack these dudes with sticks and cheap shot them. That's just uncalled for. I mean, if the team's better than you, they're better than you. I'm just saying if that happened in the NBA, I know you're saying, Walter, they shouldn't do it because it's so barbaric, or the ramifications could be fines and things like that. But I'm seriously not thinking that there's no way if the Wizards start taking out Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons or Tobias Harris that the other 76ers players are going to be like, you know what, it's time to match flagrant for flagrant. You know, I just don't see it.
But here's the danger. Here's the danger with that. You start flirting with that type of barbaric mentality. Yes. And I'm not talking about what even, an actual brawl yet. But the barbaric mentality opens a dark door a la the Palace. When people start to have that type of mentality and you end up having an innocent foul or just shove, then it opens a dark door that you wish you did not open. And to this day, I think that is the evidence of what the Palace showed us between Indiana and Detroit. When you look at that, there was no real fisticuffs fighting on the court before.
Then why the fan toss the cup at Ron Artest?
But what I'm saying is the mentality was there. And so now a fan says, I can just throw this cup at this player and no one's going to think anything of it. And now you open the door. It's just like I'm quite sure you've drove down the street, or Derek has drove down the street, and someone, gives you the bird and you're like, I'm going to get out the car. And if you get out that car, you may end up getting out the car, opening a door that you can't close. And you may say, oh, hey, look, I'm ready to box, no problem. But the ramifications of it is what you can't handle. Right. That's all I'm saying. And hockey needs to understand that.
All right, D, welcome in. Glad you're here. We're gonna allow you to have as much of these last, I guess I'm gonna extend it just a little bit, 5 to 10 minutes that we can have, because gotta go to work night. So this show is gonna be wrapped up in 30 minutes. But because I want to give you an opportunity to actually chime in on what Walter just said. I was bringing up the point that the Florida Panthers lost their mind last night, and they actually cheap shot at the Tampa Bay Lightning because they was upset that Tampa Bay was just outclassing them. And I correlated that to something that I guess more people watching, as basketball. If the 76ers are up and they just beating the Wizards silly, and the Wizards just lose their mind, decide they're going to flagrant foul Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, I'm thinking the 76ers are going to be like, you know what? It's time to match flagrant foul for flagrant foul. Mm-hmm. So what is your thoughts?
I would agree with that. The reason why that's not going to go left, like I think what Walter is stating is the NBA don't even do that no more. Like they just throw you out of the game. And I think people forget what happened. I think people kind of misconstrue what happened in Detroit at the Malice in the Palace. That wasn't because the players were fighting. That happened because a fan that paid their money thought that it was okay for him to launch a beer into a dude's face at his workplace. That's basically what happened. Like that wasn't because the players had kind of settled their stuff on the court. That wasn't because that game was overly physical. I was actually one of the few people who was actually laying in the bed watching that game. I was watching that game live when everything started. It was a physical game, but it wasn't a physical game like people were gonna get in fights. Like I was kind of puzzled as to what pissed Ben Wallace off so badly, because to me it didn't seem like that much. It really didn't. It didn't seem like that much when that happened. So I understand what you're saying, but NBA refs do a good job of kind of settling game down, or they'll just throw you out. You know what I mean? Like they threw Cameron Payne out today, and I don't even think he should have been thrown out of the game. But you know what I mean? They do a very good job of kind of dictating how physical they allow you to be. Like it ain't like hockey. Like Will said, you know, you got sticks and body armor and stuff. You can go out there and just knock the fire out of people. They're gonna give you to go sit in the box for a little while. They very rarely throw people out of a hockey game. So I don't think you can really kind of merge the two in just one singular correlation. But I don't think the NBA will ever get to that point where
here's what I'm going to respectfully
physical series where they just gonna let that happen. Like it's just not gonna happen.
Here's where I'm going to respectfully disagree with you in 60 seconds. Okay. First of all, a lot of people don't know that Ben Wallace had a death in the family, and he was going through a lot of severe mental stress on top of that. And now you are playing a rival that is basically, you are like 1 and 2 in the Central Division.
Okay.
And this is what I mean by the mentality, because the media spins that narrative of rivalries. And so the Pistons and the Pacers were the closest thing of a legitimate rivalry since the Boston Celtics and the Lakers, when I think was it Kurt Rambis who ended up getting closed by a Celtic player, I think, or reverse.
Kevin McHale closed by Kurt Rambis.
Right. Mm-hmm. So the mentality added on to the fact that you are dealing with mental stress and the death of a person. And so that energy has a way of creeping and seeping into an arena. And we've seen it through various games where you just say, how is it possible that this person is doing this? And it opens a door that all you need is one person to do something, and it sets a chain of events. Because after the whole thing with the fan, you had the players literally in the stands fighting the fans.
They went after the guy.
Okay. I was just going to say, see, you missing the point.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying. Ben Wallace was pissed. But like I said, the players and the coaches had settled that already. Remember, Ron Artest was laying on the scorer's table.
He sure was.
The players were on one. The two teams were separated except for the guy that was still on the court getting ready for a free throw. They were over doing a review. The guy who threw the cup started everything. See, everybody want to blame, it was the player's fault, and it was this and it was that. But I'm going to tell you like this right here.
Okay.
I own a preschool. Will works. Will does deliveries and whatever else he does. I have no idea what y'all two guys do. But if you're at your job and a dude fires a beer at you at your job, I understand you're gonna probably have a different answer than me. But you're not gonna just throw a beer in my face at my workplace and feel like that's gonna be okay, because you wouldn't do that when I was walking down the street. So that was what started that. I understand all of the angst that Ben Wallace may have been feeling, but he's not the first player who's experienced the death in the family and came out and played a game and had to deal with all of that. That wasn't the issue. So I think what you're saying would make sense in a different situation. But I can guarantee you, the dude who threw that beer didn't know Ben Wallace had a death in the family. I can guarantee you that.
Well, he didn't throw it at Ben Wallace.
Right, and most of the other people probably
and
most of the other people probably did not know. So you can't tie those two things in because they were two completely separate things. If that guy does not throw that beer, we're not having this conversation. We're not. Ron Artest was chilling. He might have had some mental issues, but he was chilling. He wasn't trying to get in the fight with Ben Wallace, none of that. Even when Ben Wallace pushed him, he was like, hey, look. The game almost over. Listen, let's get this over with. We already whooping y'all behinds. Let's get on out of here and call it a day. Those two things aren't the same. In hockey, even though the Panthers lost their mind, they wasn't fighting no fans. Like they might have got into it on the court. You've seen guys get into it on the court. The Detroit Pistons, the bad boys, used to almost kill people.
And see, you're making my point, Derek. But you're making my point. You're making my point, Derek.
But that did not
ignite. It's the mentality of what the Pistons put into.
That did not ignite a brawl that spilled into the stands. Is what I'm saying. On the court, it ain't no different than football, baseball, hockey, heck, tennis. Jimmy Connors throwing his racket at people. In competitive environments, you are going to have physical contact that may be outside of the rules of engagement that you're supposed to have. That's not an issue. No. They handle that stuff in between the lines that they play in. That went outside of the lines that they play in. That's what I'm saying. You're right. Can't tie those in.
But you can for this reason. Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal, and Jamal Tinsley, and I'm missing someone else, along with other players on the Pistons. That between the Pistons and the Pacers, along with Ben Wallace and some other Pistons players that I can't. Rasheed Wallace, yes. Mm-hmm. The mentality was so high to the point where they say tempers start to flare. When you allow your tempers to flare to a level where it gets red on that little with that steamer thing, that's the danger in that.
But that's the court. That's
right, and what it does is it spills into the crowd with the fans. It did with that person.
Listen, man, you play sports.
I've done in the past. I have.
Will play sports. I play sports. Listen, do you know how many disagreements, arguments, and tussles happen in parks and playgrounds and rec departments and high schools all over the place? Yeah. Ain't no riots breaking out because it's intense on the field. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what makes sports attractive to people. It's the intensity that you get. It's the rivalry. It's the, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to maul the team. That has nothing to do with the people who sitting up there in them stands, unless it's like your mama, your dad, and they mad because somebody just did something to their baby. I understand what you're saying, but you can't take that intensity that develops on the court because these people are getting paid to be intense. They're getting paid to do exactly what they're doing. The people that paid to watch them have no real involvement in it other than to voice their opinion. They can boo and scream and curse and do all of that. But you know what happens when you run out on the field? They lock you up.
Exactly.
If you run out on the basketball court, they lock you up. If they catch you throwing something on the basketball court, they throw you out because you're not supposed to involve yourself with what is going on in between those lines. That was one of those rare occasions in America where that happened. Now we got to talk about overseas because in soccer,
that's a different ball game.
In soccer,
they
get beat with
time doesn't permit us to go there. Time doesn't permit us to go there.
So
time don't permit us. Yeah.
I'll sure enough go there to further make my point.
Let's end it here and let me ask all you guys this question. I really don't care about social media. I don't care about beefs going back and forth on posts and all this stuff, but I'm finding Kwame Brown to be quite engaging. I'm finding Kwame Brown to be quite informative.
Hey, so, I know, right?
I want to ask you, why are they coming for Kwame now? And have you seen any of Kwame Brown's responses? I've actually reached out to Kwame Brown to see if I can get him on my show. And if you're watching this, or if anybody knows Kwame Brown, I would love to have that conversation with that brother because, listen, I just want to know. I want to give you the platform to say whatever you need to say, but you can't curse Kwame. That's all I'm saying. But I just want to give you the platform to say whatever you want. because I am really interested, and it's not about what Michael Jordan did or whatever and all that stuff. I'm not trying to bash Jordan, but I want to get that brother the platform because he looked like he needs to get some things off his chest, and I want to give him the platform to do it. But anyway, D, how you feel about what Kwame Brown is doing right about now? The way he's responding.
I'm not mad at Kwame because listen, I don't know why people even coming for Kwame right now. It's been so long. You know what I mean? Kwame got beat twice. Kwame got whooped up by Mike, and then Kobe whooped up on him some more. You know what I mean? Like you got to play for, with, and against two of the most overly competitive humans in the history of mankind. You know what I mean? Like I like the fact that he's snapping back at people and he don't care if you like it or not. Like, hey, if you want it, come get it. Just don't get mad when I say something you don't like. And people are like, oh, he's a public figure. He's a professional. He shouldn't be talking like that. Well, if you don't bother him, he won't bother you.
Exactly.
It's the old adage from the neighborhood.
Right. We haven't even heard nothing from this dude until Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson decided to just snap on Buddy. Like they went after him. So he went at him. And Gilbert Arenas. So he just went after him. So, man, that's like I said, I'm not one for the social media beats or the video beats or whatever they do back and forth, but I find his responses quite engaging.
And I know Matt Barnes and Jack, you know what I mean, they ain't scared of nobody, but Kwame Brown, a big dude, you know what I mean? I pay to see that match in the ring.
Okay. Now if you want to put it in the ring,
square up like we're doing the hood, squared up.
Yeah, squared up. But a couple of ex-players I know that played when he played said that's one of the strongest dudes, man. Kwame Brown's a strong dude. And I don't know. I don't think they're gonna run up on him. You know, they may talk from a distance, but I don't think he's gonna be running up. I don't think he's gonna be no running up on nobody, to be quite honest with you. All right, Lou, what do you think about Kwame Brown's comments and his responses to these dudes that's talking about him on their shows, rather?
Yeah, well, you know, if he needs him to say something, let him say it. I mean, this has been going on though for a long time, and I kind of forgot about Kwame. You know, he's been out of the spotlight for so long, pretty much. But if he needs to say to get things to get it off his chest, just let him say it. And if you like what he says, hey, that's fine. We can't. We're not.
But they came for him though, as the kids would say. They came for him. He wasn't even bothering nobody. They came for him. They brought him. Gilbert Arenas on All the Smoke of the show that's with Jackson. Yeah, they came for Kwame Brown. He wasn't bothering nobody. He was chilling with that money he made, bought his mama that nice house. Still, apparently, he's still doing good because it looked like he's still in that nice house. So they came for him.
He called Matt Barnes Becky with the good hair, bro.
I tell you, man, his responses have been engaging. Walter, what do you think about the young man Kwame Brown and his responses, or do you think he should have responded?
Okay, let me try to give you 120 seconds here. I got to condense this to 120 seconds. Okay, because I respect content creators of shows, because I'm with you, Will. Let me first of all say I saw the entire interview with Jeannie Buss, and I also saw the interview with Gilbert Arenas. So I understand his responses and him wanting to, use his platform through YouTube, and primarily it's really coming through YouTube and I think IGTV. I'm with that. My first issue with this is with YouTube and IGTV, the hypocrisy in allowing this to go viral in the way that it is, especially when we went through this whole nonsense with the last president and you kicked him off social media. So this is getting to the point dangerously that they need to rein him in. They need to rein him in. And then number two, if he's that pissed off, he's gotten his invitation to come on All the Smoke. And even Matt Barnes says, look, if we need to go outside first before we come in and box, we box first. And then we, as men. No. You talked all of that on YouTube. And IGTV or what you said. And trust me, when I saw the interview with Jeannie Buss and some of the comments, I said, I don't blame the brother for saying what he needs to say. He's right. And I understand YouTube does allow you to use a little profanity now, here and there,
Yes.
But he took it another step further when he started going after the Stephen A. Smiths, the Skip Baylesses. I like the way Shannon Sharp handled the response. He said, "We're not even going there with that." And see he's taking it to a level. And I realize you may not want to bring me back on your show. I fully understand that, Will. He's taking it back to a level of Donald Trump. That's exactly what he's doing. He's taking it to the level of Donald Trump. And he's playing the black man role. And see, YouTube and IGTV with their guidelines, me and you both know who ain't got 1,000 subscribers. You don't do social media and content create when you're creating it. You may be watching it right now. When you get in our arena and we're struggling to build ourselves up, and we pull some of the stuff that Kwame Brown is doing, and then they turn around and give you a copyright strike. Nah, man.
No.
Pick up your balls and go on all the smoke. Go face to face with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, and then you have my respect.
Yeah, but it's two of them. It's two of them, though.
Okay, can I please defend Mr. Kwame Brown right now, though?
You go right ahead.
Because I like the intensity that Walter got right now in this. He looked like he's sweating, like he got it going.
Because I'm coming from it from a content creator's perspective.
Okay, you're right. And you are coming at it from a content creator's perspective. But I think what you're failing to recognize is this dude has been the butt of everybody's joke for 20 years. And listen, you have never heard him respond. You've never heard him defend himself. You've never heard him say anything. And I think he's at the point where, hey, look, I ain't even in the game no more. Why y'all keep calling my name? Why y'all still talking about me? Why y'all even mentioning me at this point? He was like, I'm not trying to talk about none of y'all. You know what I mean? I hear Stephen A. Smith still talking about this dude. So at some point, you saying he need to pick up his balls. He already did. He got tired of them disrespecting his name and making them the butt of jokes. Now, this is the thing. Everybody take it personally when he get the firing back. But why couldn't he take it personally when he been getting jabbed and jabbed and jabbed and jabbed and jabbed for the last 15, 20 years? Yeah. It's easy and it's fun when you got the gun. But when the rabbit got the gun, everybody getting their feelings. Nobody should be mad at him. I'm sorry. Nobody should be mad at him. Because if I made a joke about you on air for millions of people, every time we saw a dude lay an egg in the NBA or do something stupid, you wouldn't like it. So when he gets his chance to fire back, nobody care about his invitation to All the Smoke because they get to edit All the Smoke. They can do whatever they want on All the Smoke because they're in control of it. And right now, everybody's pissed because they can't tell him what he can or cannot do or say. So it's not about being a content creator or none of that. This is a person. I think that's what people forget. People think that when people are on here talking and they're talking about somebody, he's just a subject on the show. No, that's a person who has a family, who has a kid, I'm sure, who has his own emotions and his own feelings that people have discounted and disregarded for all of these years. So you can't then turn around when he snapped because of something that you bought to him. He didn't come to find nobody else. He didn't come looking for them. He went online talking about nobody. He was living his best life doing Kwame. That's what he was doing. So y'all bought it. He snapped back at you. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't want to invite him on All the Smoke now because you weren't trying to invite him on before.
Yeah, that's my point right there.
Trash. Now y'all want to get him on here so y'all can have it out. And he like, listen, I ain't trying to do none of that. You want to see me? Y'all know where to find me at.
Right, but see, Derek, don't turn around and play the victim card trying to go viral.
He's not being a victim. He's doing the same thing they did.
Don't try to play the victim role and trying to go viral.
He's not.
He's pushing the agenda.
He's
pushing the agenda with more.
He's responding.
How many responses do you have? Well, how many responses do you need
to make for
him to say until they
came responding to everybody? Yeah, he's responding to everybody. He's responding to Jeannie Buss. He's responding to Gilbert Arenas. He was responding about his relationship with Michael Jordan. He's responding, and they keep saying things. And now they want him to come on All the Smoke, but you weren't thinking about him about All the Smoke when y'all was sitting there kiki and laughing with Jeannie Buss.
But let me ask you this question, Will. You make content on Black Negroes, the Negro League playing baseball, and you get that one comment. You get that one comment that pushes your button to have to give a response. How many responses did you have to keep making to the point?
They never got none. See, I'm saying
you get that one where you say in the past, I've never seen, in using the Kwame Brown analogy.
Why does he have to limit it to one response when he's had years and years and years of it? This is what I'm saying. You want to put him in a box and tell him you can respond, but this is how you do it. You can't tell a person that. You cannot.
The level of his retaliation. Right. The level of his retaliation through social media is borderline Donald Trump.
But why? Okay, this is what I'm saying.
And that's the stuff that gets us in trouble as content creators.
But what you're saying is you only saying he's doing it through social media. That's his platform. Everybody else got TV shows. They could go on ESPN and talk about him. They could go on Fox and talk about him. They could go on all the he doesn't have that at his disposal. So the only way that he's going to let you know what he feels about what you said to him is the platform that are presented to him. Just like Will said, they weren't trying to bring him on all the smoke before this. They were interested in making him the butt of their jokes.
Agreed.
Until he didn't want to be the butt of their jokes no more. So, like, I don't understand what he's supposed to do other than what he did.
I'm fine. Go ahead, Will.
I'll relate this to me a little bit in content. I made a lot of jokes about Randy Shannon over the years, and a guy that played for Randy Shannon, I'm not gonna say his name. He reached out to me on social media. He wanted to talk because now this is him defending Randy Shannon. This wasn't Randy Shannon talking to me. This was one of his ex-players defending him because he felt I was being disrespectful to Randy Shannon. So he reached out to me. And he told me, that wasn't right. You shouldn't go after another black man like that. He was the first black head coach at the University of Miami, yada, 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 and all that other stuff. And I gave him, the opportunity to say what he needed to say. And I said, okay. But at the same time, I'm just giving you my opinion. I will agree with you. I shouldn't have said some of the things I said in calling him Radio Randy and stuff like, because Radio is a character of that movie. The guy is slow. So, I shouldn't have called him that. All right. So I'm rolling with you on that. But my opinion still stands. He's the worst coach in the University of Miami history. But it didn't need for us to go back and forth. There wasn't gonna be no argument. There wasn't gonna be no fisticuffs or anything like that. But see, that was just someone defending him. That wasn't Randy Shannon. This is Kwame Brown, who has been called the biggest draft bust in the history of the league. He's gotten beat up by, like Derek said, got beat up by Kobe. He got beat up by Michael. And then Stephen A. Smith has been just ragging on this dude. Like anybody that's a bust in this league, he brings him in comparison to Kwame Brown. And then Kwame Brown was chilling and living a great life. This man played 12 years in the NBA. And for those of you who do not understand, that is the best of the best. He may not be one of the top 15 players in the league when he played, but he still was one of the 350 best players in the world to play the game of basketball. So he ain't a scrub. He's a very good player. Right. So when other NBA players disrespect him the way they did, and then current owner disrespect him the way he did, he has a right to respond. Whether we like it, whether it is similar to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump got stymied or he got censored, it is what it is. But Kwame Brown can say what he need to say, because like D say, he don't have a show, which is why I'm inviting him on here. So I'm gonna keep plugging that. But anyway,
nice.
You know what I'm saying? So he don't have a show. He don't have the platform to do it except for IGTV and Twitter or whatever else he's putting on YouTube. So, and for Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, listen, I ain't questioning nobody's manhood. Everybody think they tough, straight up. Everybody paper tigers on YouTube, TV, or whatever you is until it's time to man up. Don't call that man out like that. Don't say he's soft. We can knuckle up before we go in there, because we ain't even got to go that route. All I want you to do is just keep my name out your mouth. That's all he's saying. Just keep my name out your mouth and tell the truth. To be real about the whole situation. Y'all played in the league. So why y'all coming for me like this? You know what I'm saying? If you didn't like the way I played, or you think I was this, and this, but you know how much hard work I had to play. This dude played 12 years in the league and y'all disrespecting him.
Right.
That's my whole thing. Yeah. That's my whole thing.
And Will, I'm fine with you. Everything you just said, and even Derek was saying that, I'm fine with that aspect of it.
Right.
But when you want to take it to the point from a content creation and you want to play the victim role to go viral, that's where that I
don't think that was his intent, though.
Right. Okay. And that's fair. That may have been his intent. But the more content you keep pumping out there and you putting more of gasoline on the fire, you keep releasing more content to keep that stroking like that. I'm at a point I'm going, okay, YouTube, okay, IGTV, okay, Facebook.
Oh,
When you gonna rein? When you gonna rein him in?
They ain't coming for him.
But what I was just gonna say, what I'm saying is, what I want to know is why does he have to be censored? That's really the gist of my question. Because what basically what you're saying is, once he say one thing or once he address it, he's no longer allowed to come for people.
Yeah, keep coming. Yeah,
as people have been constantly coming for him. Like the dude been out the league 10 years.
Yeah, he's been out for a while.
He's been out the league a long time. Like there's literally no reason for people to even be talking about this dude in his NBA career at this point, or what kind of player he was, or he was sorry, or I ain't have time for him, like Gilbert Arenas said, because I made more money than him. You know what I mean? Like
that was weak.
Stuff like that is unnecessary.
Yeah.
So if you unnecessarily just steady coming for a man, I ain't talking about a child. Right. You coming for a man. When that man starts to unleash whatever he been holding in for all these years, who am I? You two? Hey, listen, they can turn him off, but you can't stop him from talking. If that's how he feel, that's how he
come on here.
He can come on here.
We ain't gotta be on YouTube. We can go to Twitter.
Like to me, there's not a limit on what you can say, because he probably has a whole lot of stuff to say.
Oh, I believe he got a lot
to correct a lot of misnomers that have probably been put out of him over the years that he just stayed quiet and just didn't say anything about. So he might have a whole bunch of other stuff that he probably gonna say. Nobody should be mad at him for saying how he feels about what people have been saying about him. An old man said, don't give people mud to throw. If they throw it, let them dig it up from somewhere else. If all he did was go about his business and they started throwing stuff at him, when he started throwing it back because you threw it at him, they started this. He didn't start this. He probably was somewhere hanging out tropical, knowing NBA players, they like retire somewhere where it's water.
He say his mama got a house on the golf course, so he must not be too far from where his mama. He bragged about that thing. He bragged about that.
So he was swizzy. He was good.
Yeah, he was good.
He didn't bring this up.
But I just say, Kwame, you know what I'm saying? If you ever run across this video, like I said, that in the comments that's leaving that, I'm so serious, my brother. Me and you, I won't even, these three guys can, you know what I'm saying? They'll watch.
I won't even say that.
Yeah. It's just me and you. I'm going to let you have
I'll let you do a one-on-one interview with that.
Hey, I'll let you have the floor. You can say it if you want to. Walter say you saying Donald Trump stuff, man, that don't bother me. I just ask that you don't curse. That's all I'm asking, because I seen your video. You went off, and that kind of threw it off a little bit with all that cursing. So just make your point without the cursing. And you know what I'm saying? And then you better, I'm gonna let you go for everybody. You can go for everybody next. I
know, bring it. I'll be on that sharing that joker left and right. Share.
Go for everybody. Everybody that got something, that had something to say about you and your career, and especially as fans. Like I said, the young man that came for me when I said about Randy Shannon, he said, well, you never played, so you can't say nothing. And he was right. Like I said, everything he said in defense of Randy Shannon was legit. It still didn't change my opinion. Randy Shannon still is the worst coach in the University of Miami history to me. You know what I'm saying? But I understood what he was coming. He was standing up for his coach.
Yes. Yeah, you had a respectful dialogue, is what I'm saying.
If
they were gonna bring it at him like that, then make it respectful. Don't just disrespect the man and then think he's not gonna say anything back. Just like they talked about him. I'm quite sure y'all know somebody that know how to discuss with him.
Yeah.
Hey, dog, come on the show, man. Let's chop it up a little bit. Listen, the question might get a little racy, but you know what I mean. We can edit it out if it go left.
Yeah,
they ain't do that. They didn't give him the opportunity to do that at all.
But you can't be mad because he responding about, you saying he this and he that, and you saying bad things, and he respond. Now you want to knuckle up? Okay, so we 7? Or we 10? Hey, you want to knuckle up because he responded? We I thought we was men. I thought we could disagree. You and Derek just disagree. Y'all want to go outside and knuckle up?
No,
man, let me jump on the plane, Derek. I see you down there.
Hey, man,
I see you, man.
When you show up, I'm gonna hand you some coffee and we gonna sit down and chop it up. I ain't got time for that, bro. That takes too much energy.
And let me clarify my statement. Let me clarify my statement as a content. I am not calling him Donald Trump.
I know what you're saying.
Right. But no, before our viewers, and for your replay viewers. Replay viewers, right? So we want our replay viewers to really go, what?
Yeah.
Let me clarify. I am not calling Kwame Brown Donald Trump. What I'm calling out is his behavior on social media, where it's combative, to the point where it can be considered violent and incite violence. That's what I'm saying. Especially when we see social media coming down on content creators like me or Will or even big content creators, and then they end up getting their channels banned or copyright. That's what I got an issue with. And then you want to play the victim role to try to go viral. That's the issue I have with this.
I'm gonna get out of here on this. I'm gonna say this. I got what you just said, and I'm gonna tell you why I think Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all y'all can go jump in the lake, as far as I'm concerned. Because you come for me for my content, but you ain't talking about them comments that's being made in my comments either. You ain't talking about those. You ain't talking about those comments. You ain't talking about the negative comments or the threats or whatever the situation is that's been made in my comments. But you want to come for me for my content. See, that's garbage. And I'll say this. I don't care what Donald Trump said. I got enough sense to know that he ain't got good sense. So I don't care what he say. I'm not a mindless minion that believe everything that somebody put on social media is real. I know social media is 99.9% BS. I understand that. So just because some dude that got money bought his way to the presidency says something, I can care less what he says. And I can care less for those who believe in him. You can believe what you want to believe. I just choose to believe that whatever he puts out there is garbage. So I don't think Twitter and Facebook should have banned him. I just think the people that's looking at this stuff should have had enough sense to realize to make the decipher for themselves whether or not it's real or it's fake. And it's just that simple for me. So when you're talking about content and what people are putting out there, it's up to the user. They got the power to keep scrolling. You keep strolling. But if you're going to come after me for content, but you're going to say, well, I can't say this, I can't do that. But you ain't talking about them people in my comments. They can say whatever.
I know you're right. So I should be able to.
I should be able to respond. If you're going to come for me and say, well, you this, then I should be able to say, well, your mama's ugly and all that other stuff too.
I knew he was going to do that.
Hey, listen, before we get off, I got a question. Lou, what is that contraption that's sitting next to you?
Thank you.
Bro, I've been trying to figure out. I'm going to tell you what it looked like.
Oh, it's a bike.
Oh, it's a bike. You heard?
I thought it was a gun.
It's a walker. This is a walker.
I thought it was that thing that you sit your gun in where you sight it down and you put that little beam in it to get this. I was like,
it's
hey,
a
man,
walker.
what you got going on today?
Right.
Okay, all right.
Yo, when y'all watch this, man, I know y'all watching the game.
I thought you
guys watch it back.
Huh?
I did ask him. I know y'all gonna skip.
Did.
I hope y'all just keep let the video play all the way through because it's not a gun. I thought it was at first. I asked because it scared me. Y'all like, no. Now I hope people ain't rolling by and be like, they got a gun on screen. But anyway.
Dang.
Hey, real quick. 17 free throws to 0.
Yeah.
Lakers had 17, Phoenix had 0. Phoenix still won by 16.
Still won.
Let's go, Suns.
Somebody explain that to me.
Yeah.
We could talk about it next week, but that's a question.
By next week, we might be all even at 2-2, or I think a lot of these series are gonna be tight. Philly may be the only team with a decisive advantage in their series, but shoot, if it take Tobias Harris to score 37 points, and for them to beat the Wizards, something ain't right.
Hey, why 48 today?
Yeah, he had 37 today.
Yeah, he did.
He had 47.
He had 47.
Yeah, 47.
Let me
I thought it was 37.
Everybody's doing the switches, right? If everybody's doing the switches, why isn't Scott Brooks trying to run a 2-1, a 1-2 switch so he can get Steph Curry on defense? Why not do that?
Right.
Why not Steph Curry can't play defense?
Hey man, call him, dog. I said the same thing. Call him because he's horrible at defense.
He's the worst. Duncan Robinson.
He played defense like LeBron. LeBron does not play defense. I'm sorry.
Neither does Giannis.
No defense.
Neither does Giannis. Giannis is the worst defensive player of the year in history with on-ball defense because Jimmy Butler went around him like he was standing still yesterday.
Man,
know that.
Chris Paul threw a lob and LeBron didn't move. He was like, ball.
Because the conspiracy theorists out there say LeBron let his boy have one today. He let his buddy have one.
LeBron should not be playing. He should be in protocol.
That's why they lost.
Like that.
That's why they lost.
Man.
They have made everybody
he
else
violated,
do them 10 to 14 days. He's the first player this season that they knowingly knew violated it and he didn't have to sit out.
Yeah, he violated the regulations. You didn't know that?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah,
of course.
I didn't know.
The league decided yesterday we will not be suspending LeBron for violating the league protocol. It was worded just like that.
And it was a small caption. It wasn't even played in video. It was on their network, and it's a small caption. LeBron will not face any suspension for violating protocol.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the first player this
season. Else know that would have happened though.
Bro, Kyrie had to do it 3 times.
Yeah. Yes. Wow.
3. Schroeder just came off twice. He did it 2 or 3 times. He's the first player this season to have been proven to knowingly violate the protocol and didn't face a sit down.
Well, that's okay. Once Phoenix beats him, he can sit down.
Right. That's just not right, though. It's wrong.
Once
it's
Phoenix
another
beats him,
stimulus package.
He can sit down for a long time.
He can go all the wine tasters he wants.
All the wine tasters. That's it, guys. Hey, listen, thank you again for your time. I understand the New York market is watching, especially the Atlanta market. They're watching this game. So, hey, when you watch this back, listen, again, hit that subscribe button on that YouTube channel and also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. It's supposed to be 30 minutes. I went 30 minutes over, so it's like the 30 minutes of sleep I'm going to get tonight. But it is what it is. Say a prayer for somebody because prayer changes things. Holla, be safe.
Right.
Later, guys.
Good night,